Hey, ladies. Welcome to today's discussion, little quick early morning chat. Uh, this discussion is based on a live stream that I heard from Samantha Cooker talking about Black women can't take correction. And of course, she talks a lot more about it from the point of view of relationships. But like within a 1 to 2 day period of her doing that live stream, I had a story happen to me, and it's very relevant with regards to taking correction, quote unquote correction. And this is from a corporate America point of view. So I'm going to put on our 90-second timer, give people a chance to come in, and then I'm going to tell you my story time with regards to being a Black woman, handling quote unquote correction in corporate America. And I got some just interesting things to tell you. So here's the 90-second timer. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. We are the home of the upwardly mobile Black woman. For exclusive content and invitations to our Inner Circle Zoom meetings, which happen on a monthly basis, you can sign up for free for our email newsletter at bwmakingmoney.com. That's bwmakingmoney.com. Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies. Welcome to today's quick morning discussion with regards to can Black women take correction in corporate America? So first of all, I want to say thank you so much to Sugar St. James saying good morning. Thanks for coming on, love. Cherie, yes, this conversation is from a love point of view and not from a bashing Black women point of view, because I don't do that. And Malika is here listening while getting ready for work. Good morning. So this is a quick story time of mine. And, it's kind of difficult sometimes to come and say, hey, I didn't handle something well initially, but God kept speaking to me saying, Cherie, you really need to let people know this story so that way it can benefit others. So as I was saying before I put on the 90-second clock, this uh, happened around the same time that Samantha Cooker, who is a popular YouTuber in the relationship space, Samantha Cooker did a live stream called No One Can Correct Black Women. And that leads to baby mama culture. And obviously it was a relationship conversation. And over here, we talk about relationships. We don't do it in the way that she does. But within a day or two of that live stream coming about, where her live stream was about the fact that this woman had 5 kids from 3 men. And she said that none of the children's fathers were helping her um, with regard to the kids. And she was complaining. And this is why I kind of wanted to feature her story, because she was complaining that she was not able to take on additional shift work or take uh, better paying jobs because none of her children's fathers were willing to help her with her kids. And I am going to come at some point and do a session about that, because we have continuously spoken about the fact that your children's father is the most important financial decision you ever make in your life. But Samantha's, discussion was about the fact that people probably tried to tell that young lady after she had the first child, don't have any more children, get your education, get a good job, get yourself stable financially, and she did not listen. And you're saying, okay, Sheree, well, what does this have to do with your story time in corporate America and correction, quote unquote, correction of Black women in corporate America? Well, about a day or two after I listened to that live stream, so most of you know I'm a mortgage loan officer and I work with some realtors. And one of the realtors called me and said, Cherie, I wanted to let you know that the client that you and I have been working with decided to go with another lender because that lender had $10,000 less in fees than you. And what he said to me was, you probably don't know how to do the calculations correctly. And I first of all want to say that this was not a racism, white supremacy thing at all, right? We are taking off, somebody who is coming to you from a racial, anti DEI point of view. I'm not talking about that at all. This gentleman was just saying it as a fact, right? I'm not talking about somebody who's giving you microaggressions. I'm just talking about somebody who's coming to you saying, this skill is lacking in you. The first thing that I did was I became defensive. I was wrong. I became defensive. Now, I wasn't defensive in a nasty way to him or at all, but I was like, yeah, there's nothing I could really do about that, because blah, 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 blah. You all really don't need to hear all of that. But he said, okay. And, we hung up the phone with each other. And I thought about it over a few hours and I said, that wasn't the right thing to do. This guy gave me correction. He told me, Cherie, you are deficient in this specific aspect of your job. And because you are deficient in this specific aspect of your job, you are not going to be able to make as much money. Or for some of you, you're not going to be able to get the promotions or the promotable task that will lead to the promotions that you want to do in your corporate careers. Okay. So I didn't have to, I chose to. The next day, I actually called him back and I said, because we had the conversation in the evening. So I called him back the next day and I said, you know what? I want to let you know that I thought about what you said and I iterated, like, this is what I heard you say. I thought about what you said and I'm going to work on that internally in order to fix this specific issue. And he said, great, fantastic. And we're still working together on other clients, and he's more receptive to working with me with regards to me doing other loans for him and his clients. The reason that I'm mentioning this is because sometimes when someone gives us correction, quote unquote, in corporate America, and again, I'm not talking about people who are racist. I'm not talking about people who are giving you microaggressions. And you all know I've said before, be careful slapping the term racist on somebody just because they're white and you're black, or they're Asian and you're black, etc. I'm very cautious and careful about that in corporate America. That's not good, right? But if that person's like, you're deficient in this skill, being able to step back and say, number one, is this true? Am I truly deficient in this corporate skill? Number two is, shout out to Mentor Shelley, documenting your conversation with the person. If you have a Dropbox or you have a Google Drive, or you, again, internally, like when I say internally, I mean like your own Gmail account, someplace where it's not, you know, where it's separate from your work email, right? And your work computer, right? Put it on your home computer, or put it in the cloud. This is the date. This is the time. This is the person who told me, who quote unquote corrected me, right? Um, uh, Documenting the conversation while it's still fresh in your head. Number two. Number three is going back to that person, especially if they're your manager, going back to that person and acknowledging that they have given you feedback. Acknowledging that. If they're a coworker, going back to them, acknowledging that. If they are a manager, remember, we're studying right now uh, Rich AF. And in Rich AF, one of the things that Vivian talks about is oftentimes we are lacking because we don't make enough income. And in order to make enough income, we have to be able to negotiate our salaries. And if you're stuck at a certain salary because you have a skill gap, being able to go to your manager and say, you know what, I'd like to talk with you about the additional skills that I need in order to correct whatever issue, whatever feedback they're giving us. Also, asking your manager for the dollars that you need if there's a specific training that you want to take in order to correct that issue. Sometimes the dollars are already allocated based on your handbook, based on the company that you work with. And then other times you have to ask for those dollars. But um, being able to go ask for those dollars, take those additional classes, get them paid for as we need it. I almost didn't handle the correction properly. I almost didn't. And I'm just trying to kind of give you the information that you need in order to be able to do that. So, the final thing is with your managers, if your managers are kind of saying, hey, you need to work on this skill, you're deficient in this specific skill, once you have asked them for the skills training, taken the classes, let them know you've taken the classes, during your semi-annual review or your annual review, making sure that you like go over again, you gave me this specific skill that you wanted me to improve. These are the classes that I took. This is how I've improved that skill. And now I want my extra $10,000 to $20,000 bump in salary. And when we're able to do that, then the next person, that next mentor or that next coworker or that next manager will give us more correction with regards to here's the skill you need to work on to get to the next level. And Black women do need to be able to handle correction in corporate America. Now, I'm not crazy. I know when people say on social media, Black women don't want to take correction and they're talking in the relationship space, that they're trying to trigger us. Today's conversation is not about trying to trigger you. I don't try to trigger people at all on this channel. But I do think it is important. Sometimes the reason that we are not progressing in corporate America, in our jobs, in our careers, the reason I would have been held back from progressing is when that gentleman that I work with told me, hey, your fees are too high. I don't think you know how to calculate these fees appropriately. Maybe you need to go back and ask again how to do that. I got defensive immediately. I was like, well, and it is true. Like part of what I was saying was true. Like, hey, we don't want to underestimate blah blah blah, and a lot of other lenders will underestimate. And then I came back and said, you know what? The next day I said, you know what? I heard what you said. I'm going to go back. I'm going to rework and see um, if I can figure out some sort of way to correct that. Now, will I 100% correct it the way that he wants me to? No. However, I do think it is important for us to be able to handle correction. Basically, people are just shining a light on what our skills gaps are, being able to handle that in corporate America. Because that could mean an additional 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000. Being able to handle it in our businesses as well. That could lead to millions of dollars per year. So that's it for me. Good morning, KB. Good morning. That's it for me. Just want to come, give that quick story time, let you ladies know your girl Cherie is always learning as well as all of you. And it was important for me to come and just share this story of how I initially mishandled correction in corporate America and how I actually uh, turned that around. And I'm going to turn it around for the better. Yes, please hit the like button. Show me some love. Everybody hit the like button. Okay, I got to go to work now. But thank you so much, ladies, for listening to my story time. And I will be back in order to have another Black women making money discussion. Thanks so much. Have a blessed day. Sorry. Bye-bye.